As you see, they are already taking the field here. And new in the booth, well, one, if you don't already know me, I'm Christian Cox with BISD TV. And new in the booth, I have our very own
Jacob Guidry.
Yep.
I'm a junior here. I'm glad to be here in this booth. You know, it's different, man. I love it here.
Absolutely. So, as you just saw, they just took the field. We're about to shortly have the Westbrook Bruins coming out. And, you know, speak a little bit about this rivalry we have.
All right, Christian, thank you. So this rivalry, it just didn't start with Westbrook and Beaumont United. This rivalry has been going on for several years, even longer than me. This rivalry started way back between Ozan Central and even between Westbrook. This has been a rivalry, a big rivalry, not just in Beaumont, but in the 409 area.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, you're speaking about, you know, Central, Ozan, and Westbrook, of course. Well, when Central and Ozan merged to create Beaumont United, I think United. What can you say? Is the trends gonna stay the same? You know, is Westbrook? Do you think Westbrook's gonna come out on top? As we see Westbrook taking the field now, looking pretty good over there in that all-white jerseys. But going back to my question, you know, Westbrook has 4 wins compared to Beaumont United's only 1 win. So what do you think is gonna happen?
Now, I believe both teams have been playing very well this year despite their record, but, you know, they've playing very nice on both sides of the ball, and I think we're going to have a good matchup here. Nevertheless, we're going to have a very great matchup, a very, you know, high-effort game between both of these players here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And coming into Westbrook, you know, they have a pretty much similar play style as Beaumont United. They're going to run the ball. They're going to work around this defense. They're going to find those gaps and those weak points, and they're going to attack those weak points. They're not going to let up. They're going to get to that end zone, or as we like to say here at BISD TV, to the crib.
The crib. That's what we like to call it here. And, you know, yesterday was the freshman and JV game. So do you think we're going to see any similarities between those 2 games?
Yes, I think we will. We've seen a lot of different things yesterday at the junior varsity and freshman games, but, you know, I believe we're about to go here into the national anthem. We're going to hand it over to Tiana Smith down there on the 50-yard line.
The national anthem will start in just a moment. But before we start, we just want to say, you know, shout out to BISD TV and shout out to everybody that is up here working in the booths, you know, working out on the cameras. If you do not know, this is a student-run program. Me and Jacob here, we are students ourselves, and we have the national anthem.
Oh no,
Absolutely phenomenal. Again, that was Tiana Smith, a junior, a part of the Beaumont United High School choir. Very talented and a very amazing voice. What do you say, Christian?
That was amazing. I mean, that's what we like to see out there. Sang beautifully, and that was amazing, like I said.
Now, this pregame routine here at Family Dogget Stadium is just, it's off the charts. The crowd, as you can see, you can't see right now, but we do have student sections here. They are up, they are live, they are excited. For Westbrook, they are dressed in their Halloween costumes. It's Halloween night for the Westbrook Bruins, and man, they're going crazy over there.
Yeah, that, and we also have a lot of schools in attendance. So we have some of our middle school and maybe even elementary school bands here. And, our bands on either side, Soul of the South bands. I think that's what they call them if I'm right there. And, man, I just have to say, for both teams, these jerseys look amazing. All right, you got the red and maroon, or the maroon and yellow, should I say, for Beaumont United. And you got the all whites coming out for Westbrook. I mean, you got to love that, right?
Absolutely. And now, looking at center field, we have Beaumont United and the Westbrook Bruins captains coming out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the coin toss here. So for people who do not know the coin toss, the visiting team gets to choose. So Westbrook will get to pick it in the air, heads or tails, and then elect to receive or kick off the ball. So Jacob, tell us a little bit about some of our standout players for tonight.
So some of our standout players for Beaumont United, we have an amazing quarterback and wide receiver duo. We have Race Deshotel. He's the starting quarterback. That's number 10. And you have a wide receiver. He goes by T. Calhoun. They're in the same duo. They attack. They go in the air, and, they get those short passes, deep passes, medium passes. They're all over the field. Those two, man, they're something else.
Yep, for sure. And as we see, Beaumont United will get the ball. They will be on the right side of the field going into their own end zone. And Westbrook will start out on defense. Now, something that we saw yesterday in the freshman game was a really defensive-sided game. The game ended in a tie for people who do not know. The score was 12-12. And, hopefully, or not hopefully, everybody likes to see points on the board, but we want to see some defense as well.
Now, something we noticed in both games, actually, was the freshman and junior varsity game. They were definitely slacking on special teams, Hopefully that's something we don't see coming into this varsity game here at the Beaumont Bowl, because at the end of the day, special teams, that can lose you a football game. You think those 1 point won't matter? They definitely do. They definitely add up to the final score.
Absolutely, yep. You can never go wrong. And, I spoke to Coach Colbert, spoke to Coach Langston, and that's something that they preach. All three phases of the game matters. Your offense, defense. People think that special teams do not matter, but that is just as important as all the other parts of the game. As we see, we are set for kickoff. Westbrook will kick it off, and the game is on. That will be Beaumont United on the return. He catches the ball. He's going to take it out. A flag is thrown on the play. Ball will be spotted at the 19-yard line. They might call an illegal block or clipping on that. I'm not too sure yet.
And that was Dylan Purnell, number 80, to kick off.
So on these sort of dead balls here, we're finding out what the penalty is. They may move the ball forward or backwards depending on which side it's on. It looks like it's going to be on Beaumont United, as they haven't put the ball at the marker just yet. As we're looking over, we want to give a shout out to everybody that came to the game, everybody that's watching the game. For y'all to be here, this is what makes our cylinders, our engines turn. So for that, we just want to say thank you for everything.
And again, this is a student-ran production here. We have about a 15-man crew here tonight. We have a lot of students here, and we got we've got something.
Student
to do.
professionals, we like to call ourselves. You know?
Yes.
So that will be a penalty on Beaumont United. They will get moved back from the 19 all the way inside their own 10, about the 9-yard line here. First play of the game is going to be a great stop by Westbrook, about no gain on the play. And that's what we like to see so far. You know, like we want to see offense, but we also want to see that defense too. And you know, them getting that stop early, that's going to set the tone.
And that's something we're going to see a lot here about this Beaumont United offense. They love to run the ball, especially early in the game here. That's something that we're going to see a lot in this first quarter.
Absolutely. And, you know, me and you were talking earlier about how UIL rated this game. Oh, my goodness. And he looks deep, but it is just out of the reach of number 24. He stumbled a little bit off of the line of scrimmage, but he got up, and I think that costed him an incompletion.
And something that you may have noticed, that's, you know, there's a different quarterback behind the center, and that's not your number 10 race this hotel. That's actually number 5, Ashton Henry. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's able to use his legs, and he has a huge arm. So it's a switch up. I believe Race is on injury reserve, but that is unconfirmed at this time.
Yep, and a couple of subs coming into the game now. It's going to be a doubles formation. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to take it outside, and he gets past the line of scrimmage but gets brought down after a gain of 2. A lot of lateral movement there on that side of the field, not getting many yards up the field, and that will send out the punt unit for Beaumont United. A 3-and-out is not what you look for when you're trying to set the tone of an early and very competitive rivalry game.
And like I said, this quarterback, he is a dual threat, as you just seen. He's got the speed on him. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get far there, but that's only one rushing play.
Absolutely. So it will bring up 4th and 7, leaving Messiah Rito to punt in their own end zone. 10 minutes to play now. A kick about 30 yards down the field. It's going to bounce, a really, really good bounce for Beaumont United. That will get down at about the 48-yard line. A really good kick if you're Messiah, and a really lucky bounce too. And Westbrook will get the ball at the 48-yard line.
And they're going to have extra yards here. Well, obviously, I believe we have a roughing the kicker flag back in the Bruins end zone.
That there is a flag down in the end zone. Not sure if that could be one of their towels. You know, the Timberwolves, they use those yellow towels. He could have dropped his towel on the field there. Not sure if that is a penalty flag or not. Don't think it is. We see Coach Colbert talking to the referees on the sideline. So speaking of Coach Colbert, you know, earlier this year, I got the opportunity to interview him. And one of the things that we talked about is to see these trick plays. We've seen a couple of them early on in the season. If you do not know, in one of their games, they threw a double pass that led to a touchdown, a really incredible play. And, you know, when we spoke about that, he said that he likes to, you know, leave his opponents on edge, want to keep them on their toes, and that's what trick plays do.
Yes, and last night in the junior varsity game, we seen a lot of those trick plays. We seen misdirection, handoffs, and that's gonna win their games as it did. Well, we wouldn't say win, but it's gonna help them score and get them in a better position than where they may have been.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Westbrook is getting ready to snap the ball. It's going to be a penalty, though. It is going to knock them back a few yards. So they look pretty even so far. What do you think?
So I think, you know, they're going to play a good game here. For big run there, a small run brought down at the line of scrimmage. That's a shifty running back right there. When you say he tried to get open space there, as you can see on the replay, with that motion over.
Yep, absolutely. You know, they threw it to him out of the backfield, and he lost 2 on the play, or lost 1 on the play, should I say. You know, if you're just joining the live stream, this is the Beaumont Bowl, Westbrook Bruins versus Beaumont United Timberwolves game of the week by UIL. and just an amazing night to be here. The temperatures have cooled down a little bit. We're starting to get into some of that fall weather. Me personally, I'm a cold weather type of guy, so I'm excited for it. Some, they like being hot for some reason. That's them. That's not me. But Jacob, what do you think about this?
So I think it's great temperatures out here. We're here in low 70 temperatures, and it's even going to get colder tonight as this game hits around 8 p.m.
Has a good gain up the middle. He's going to get about 4 yards, or he's going to get about 7 yards on the play. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 situation. Early in the game, you do not want to have these 3rd and long situations because that kind of forces you into a passing situation. You always want to stay able to run the ball and pass the ball. And by being forced to pass, the defense knows what you're going to do, so they can better predict and make better plays on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, one thing about this Westbrook offense, they're able to do both of those things. They're able to run the ball, and they're able to pass effectively. So I don't think this will be any problem for them, but we'll see as we come down here on this 3rd and 8.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have looks to be a timeout or a technical timeout on the field. I do not think an actual timeout was called. Referees are going to talk it over about maybe the spot of the ball. I think they move it back a yard here, making it a 3rd and 9 situation.
Man, the bands are definitely loud tonight. We can feel the windows shaking here in the box.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we love to see, though. Our bands, they're amazing. Everybody's getting hype on the field. The student sections are very excited. As we see a pump fake, he's going to keep the ball, but he doesn't get enough yardage for the first down. Gets to about the 44-yard line before getting tackled. He tried to keep it himself. He tried to go for the pump fake to, try to fake those defenders, but they weren't having any of it, and they just brought him down after he had to run for it. So we have about 8:30 left in the first quarter. 4th and 6 for Westbrook. Their punt unit will come up onto the field now. And I think that is Andrew Nyrider out there on the field. Last year, for this game in particular, his parents gave me a couple hot dogs, for the free. So, and after an amazing punt, it will take an amazing bounce for Westbrook. It's going to be down at the 2-yard line. You cannot ask for a better punt than that. So earlier we were just talking about the special teams and how important a factor they play, and punting the ball inside the 5-yard line is what you love to see if you are a punter.
Now, Beaumont United, they're deep in their own end zone here, so these are not the typical moments you see them to pull these trick plays. It's mostly when they're in the opposite end zone, but this team is full of surprises. You never know what they're going to pull on us. So this is going to be interesting to see how they're going to play on their own end zone inside their own 5.
So we see Ashton Henry come back onto the field at the quarterback position. We've seen him line up in all sorts of ways. We've seen him line up on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen him line up on the offensive side of the ball at receiver, halfback, and quarterback, as it is a gain of about 5 on the play. A really good run, a really good hole up the middle. That offensive line, plays a really important role on this team as well. And, speaking to both coaches, they say that the trenches, the line of scrimmage, is where the football game is won. It all starts from the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a battle of the defensive line and the offensive line, and who's going to protect or who's going to get to the quarterback.
Yes, absolutely, Christian.
So the same formation coming out, they have 2 offset tight ends outside of the lineman there, and he's going to throw it up deep, and it's going to be picked off by number 17. Just an errant throw there, trying to get it out. And he's going to take it back down the left sideline, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. If you're Ashton Henry, you have to be talking to yourself and thinking, what are you doing there?
That's just not the play to run there. It's double coverage there on that receiver. He was wide open, but the throw was just well overthrown.
Absolutely, absolutely. The cornerback did get beat on that play, but that safety help over the top is what made that defensive play. That interception there, and he got yards after the interception as well. He took it on the return, and he made a play out of it. And that's what we love to see on the defensive side of the ball.
Now lined up on 1st and 10 here for the Westbrook Bruins on great field position, almost into the opposite red zone.
They're at the 30-yard line, just going to go for a handoff. He has a lot of space up the middle. Gets dragged down after a gain of 6. We see number 55 setting the lead block for him. That is BISD TV's very own Carlos Graham. If you don't know him, he likes to talk about pancakes and syrup. You know, he has to get them pancakes on the field. If you don't know what a pancake is, if you don't know about some of that football terminology, that's when you put the other guy on the ground. You know, you don't let him get nowhere near your running back, quarterback, whatever play they're running. So we're going to see a motion out of the backfield now. He's going to look right and just keep it. And he's going to have a really good, strong run there, getting the first down. Hey, that's the first down we've seen of the game.
Yes, and that's a great job by the offensive line for the Bruins. They were able to get their man, and they're able to make that gap, make that hole for that running back to get in there.
Yeah, Poole. So that was a quarterback keeper there. He did look and try to take his check down, but decided to keep it and pull it down. And that is a really smart play, as it did grant them that first down. The ball will be placed at the 19-yard line with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, about halfway through. If you missed out on some of the festivities, we had some food trucks out here, as he's going to look pretty deep down the field, going to take his out route. He's going to make a move and get dragged down inside of the 5. What an open receiver there. You have to be wondering what the defensive coverage was and how did they get blown.
And that was Jalen Dortz with the catch. Very shifty receiver there.
You know, he did juke out a receiver. He found a way to get open on that out route there, and he made a play. So a little bit of a quick tempo offense now. Going to have one receiver out wide to the left. And the snap comes. It's going to be a handoff, but he's not going to get anything on the play. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd and goal for Westbrook.
You know, these are key moments right here. This is a big time for the Beaumont United defense. They're going to need to stop here. They don't want Westbrook to take the early lead in the first quarter.
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple of mistakes early on from Beaumont United leads to Westbrook being in the red zone. It's going to be a QB power. He breaks a tackle, and he gets into the end zone, barely slipping underneath the defender. What a play, and he's going to hit his celebration in the end zone. What a play if you're Westbrook. You have to be really excited about that. You know, they didn't get the ball first, and they're going to be the first to score. That is just an amazing play from Westbrook.
Yeah, and I can only imagine this offense running these plays over and over and over at practice. And as you see, it just plays off right here in the big game.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, yesterday at the JV/freshman game, we saw a couple PATs missed, but the first one here tonight will go right through the middle and send Westbrook up 7-0 with 4:44 left in the first quarter. So, Jacob, you know, last night we were talking up here in the booth watching the game, and we had Beaumont United's very own Coach Douglas in here giving us a little bit of prep, some talking points, you know, here to help us out in the commentary booth. And what can you say about that?
Yeah, Coach Douglas, he's a coach for the Beaumont United football team, and he's also a media teacher, the audio-visual teacher for Beaumont United. He teaches RTV1. Many of you know him if you are students at Beaumont United. He's a great coach, and he was just in here the other day giving us some tips, as this was our first time commentating in about a year.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have Westbrook set to kick off. Beaumont United will be back to return. You know, last time on special teams, when they were on this kickoff return, there was a penalty, and that set them back at the 19-yard line. Well, they got the ball to the 19-yard line, and then they got moved back to about their own 9-yard line. So that started them further back into their end zone, and they didn't end up getting the first down, and it led to a punt from Beaumont United. Hopefully here we do not see any issues on special teams, and let's see if they can get out of the red zone here. Kickoff comes. and is a
big kick.
really far kick going all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So, Jacob, can you explain what a touchback is to the fans that are watching at home?
So a touchback is any kick that is kicked into the end zone, which is the end zone is where you score touchdowns at. That's the big blue or maroon, rectangle as we'll call it, at both ends of the football field. And if the ball is caught in the end zone and the returner takes a knee, that counts as a touchback, and the ball will be automatically placed on the 25-yard line. Those are ways that, those teams can, take a safer option than returning if they believe they're not going to get more yards past the 25. It's just an option that they have.
Absolutely, absolutely. So speaking a little bit about this atmosphere, I mean, you see all these people piling into the stadium and a lot of people piling into the backfield, but Ashton, he's nowhere to be seen. He's going to take it for about 30 yards on the play. A quarterback keeper, the defense does not read that correctly. That was a read option play, so Ashton had the chance to either hand it off to his running back or keep it for himself. There, he keeps it himself, takes it outside, and the defense, like I said, could not make that read.
That was a great way by the quarterback to fool this defensive line. They was expecting to run there, but no, he kept it himself to get a big gain.
Yep. And so far, we've seen very quick tempo on these longer plays. When we saw a completion down the field, when we saw Ashton run, as soon as they try to get set really early, and it's going to be overthrown on the wide receiver screen here.
The target was T. Calhoun. That was the receiver we were talking about earlier, and he's actually the player of the week for Beaumont United. Yeah. He's a great wide receiver here, and he also plays track. He's one of the fastest runners on their team, and he's just an overall great guy to be around.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on the Westbrook side, the player of the week is James Moore. We'll be looking out for him and seeing if he comes out and makes any plays. And on the Beaumont United side of it, Race not in the game for Beaumont United. You have to wonder why. Well, last week he got injured. So I think they're going to let him rest a little bit, trying to work him in slowly. As we see Ashton keep it again, will not get more than 3 on the play. It would bring up a third down
we
and
possibly have some
fights breaking out on the
breaking
field.
Out here on the 45-yard line. That just shows how big this rivalry is. There's a lot of love and a big love and hate relationship between these two teams.
Absolutely. Speaking in our pregame interview, we had the opportunity to interview both a Westbrook player and a Beaumont United player. And one of our Westbrook players, Xavier Williams, he spoke about, hey, I played with these guys in middle school. I played with these guys. I've known these guys. People on, the Beaumont United side are some of my family. And so it's going to be a very, very, hard-fought game. People are going to put their heart into it. Ashton is going to go to his first read, doesn't have it. He's going to try to keep it himself, and he jukes out a couple of defenders for a big gain. It ended up being a 3rd and 9. He breaks out, gets about 6, maybe 7 on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2. Now, Jacob, this early in the game, do you think Beaumont United has to go for it here, or do you think they're going to send that punt unit on trying to pin them deep?
No, it is very early in the game. They are down by 7, and I think they should go for it here. It's a big game, a game that they definitely don't want to lose here, but you have to take those risks. If you don't take the risk, you're going to be living that life, that question with, what if we did go for it? What if we didn't go for it? What would have happened?
Absolutely, absolutely. There seemed to be a penalty marker get picked up on the field. I think they're going to call, looks like a holding penalty. I'm not too sure what the penalty was on the field there. It's going to be, they're going to send the punt unit onto the field now. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 9 with 3:16 left in the first quarter. Ball is at the 47-yard line. We were just talking about whether or not they should go for it or not. It's 4th down and 2. In those shorter yardage situations, it's more of a decision. But when you're outside of that 4th and medium range, as we like to call it here up in the booth, it's a 4th down and long. I do not think that they should be going for it here, and they're going to send that punt unit on. Messiah Rito with a kick down the field. It's going to fall down. He's going to return it for some reason inside of the 5-yard line, and he gets tripped up after a gain about 5. That is an odd decision if you are the Westbrook return man. You could just let that ball bounce into the end zone, and it's a touchback. Ball comes out to the 25. But instead, he tries to make something out of it and take that ball, and he gets tripped up by number 24 on the play.
And honestly, you just said he could have let it bounce off into a touchback, but as a ball carrier, you're gonna have great vision, and I kind of seen what he's seen. He saw a gap here on the right side of the field, and he could have had it, but that defensive player for Beaumont United on the kicking team, he was able to get there, able to make the tackle, and that's great effort by Beaumont United.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We'll try to brief you in on them. Oh my goodness, he has a really big hole up the middle. He's going to get about a first down on the play. I mean, that was just an excellent run blocking. That was just excellent run blocking for Westbrook. As they're going to quickly get to the line here, time and time again, we have seen up-tempo after these really long plays. Another handoff. And like you said, both these teams are running the ball and running the ball very well at that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about effort a lot tonight because in order to win a game, you have to have effort as a team collectively. If you don't have effort, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for.
So as an athlete yourself, you speak about effort. What kind of correlates between you and some of these athletes on the field here tonight?
It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter if you're on the bench, if you're on the field. You have to put in your all. You have to put in your effort because if you don't, it's not going to bring yourself down. It's going to bring the entire team down and ultimately lead to a loss that you don't want on your record.
And speaking of losses, well, that's not a good segue. I shouldn't say that necessarily. But Beaumont United is 0-3 in district play. Westbrook, I think, is 1-2 in district play. And Westbrook is 3-4 overall on the season, and Beaumont United is 2-5 overall on the season. So pretty close, similar records. A win here for Beaumont United would be really good for them, equalizing in their division. As we see a really big gain here for a first down on the quarterback keeper.
And earlier this week, Christian, we would like to touch on something. We actually have middle schools here, the middle school bands. They are here. They are playing alongside the Westbrook and Beaumont United bands. And we've seen a lot of these middle schools like Vincent and Oldham. And we have a big run here for a first down as the Westbrook Bruins, number 71. As number 6, my apologies. But, these middle schools come into the Career Center. They're touring out different classes. And even BISD TV, we spoke to a lot of those band members. They're very excited about this game.
Yeah, speaking of coming to the Career Center, we have our principal pop-up, which will be held on the third Thursdays of each month from 2:30 to 4:30 for principal pop-in. You'll have the opportunity to learn about what's going on at C-Tech, ask questions, and find out how you can get involved. So anybody that lives within Beaumont and, has a kid in BISD, highly recommend C-Tech. You get to learn about each program of study here. As we have an announcement about to come in from Dr. Allen.
Dr. Allen is the superintendent of schools for Beaumont Independent School District. As we wait an announcement.
So we have the game of the week. You cannot beat the Beaumont United versus Westbrook rivalry. I mean, we talked about it earlier. And this is just one of the biggest rivalries in the state of Texas.
Absolutely, as we mentioned earlier in the pregame show, this was rated Game of the Week by UIL Texas. UIL is it's pretty much like the NCAA, but over high schools in Texas. They rated this the Game of the Week, biggest rivalry here, especially in the Southeast Texas area.
Yep, absolutely. And also,
All right.
if you do not know, T-Mobile 5G lights, that is a thing going on right now for Beaumont United. If you go like their pinned post on the Beaumont United Instagram, they are entered in a chance to win a $1 million sponsorship, which would go into field upgrades, communications upgrades, just upgrades all across for the facilities, everything to do with sports. T-Mobile 5G lights. If you want to go support it, again, go like the pinned post on Beaumont United Instagram. And speaking of, we actually had a hand in that. Some of our members of BIZ TV, myself, and also BIZ TV member Joshua Chambers had a hand in making that video. Some of our clips that we have gotten were actually used in that video. So if you can point them out, let us know. Our clips are always the best in those. So as we see, the second quarter is going to begin here shortly. Westbrook is up 7-0. Second down and 1. They flip sides of the field so everybody can get a view of the action. They're going to just hand it off. No, he's going to pump fake, and he's going to throw it deep. A receiver there, but it is thrown out of bounds. He had a hole to throw into, but just barely missed his target. That is one that you hope, or that he wishes to get back.
And that looked as if it hit I believe that's an Odom cheerleader on the Beaumont United sideline. They appeared to be doing fine and okay.
Yep. So, Ashton Henry and I actually took a Spanish class together when he was a freshman. Seeing him on the field makes me think back to those days when we were in the classroom together. He's a very hard-working student on and off the field. And I hope everything but the best for everybody on the field so far.
And Christian, how important is it to be academically stable as an athlete? Not only do you have to be good on the field, but you have to be good in the classroom. So how does that, convey here?
Well, everything that you're going to hear from the coaches is that school comes first. If you can't perform in the classroom, there's no way you can perform on the field. So these students, they work their tail off in the classroom so that they can play under these Friday night lights. And speaking of that, you're an athlete as well. How does that, it is a very tough task to go to practice every day and then go home and do your homework. So what can you speak about that?
You just have to be in the right mindset. You have to stay motivated. You have to stay focused. And if you're able to do that, it's going to be no problem.
So a very good run here as he breaks outside for about a gain of 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 here for the Westbrook Bruins. We have 10 minutes and counting on the clock here. Westbrook has looked pretty good on offense so far. Beaumont United's defense has also made a couple of big plays, but one of the bigger factors about this game is that Beaumont United has not had as much time of possession, which means that they have not had the ball as long as Westbrook has. Westbrook has used a lot of this clock here, whereas Beaumont United, they've gone 3 and out and then the interception on their last drive. So it looks to me like we're going to have a timeout come out for the Westbrook Bruins. Maybe just didn't get that, that play right into the head of the quarterback there. Maybe wasn't sure what he was supposed to be doing out there, so they called their timeout. We have Player of the Week, Tateen Calhoun. Player of the Week, James Moore. We've seen them on the field so far. And can you explain why they would be Player of the Week?
To be Player of the Week, it's just not because you're famous. You're going to have to be Player of the Week because, you're just an all-around great guy. You have to be good on the field, the classroom, and you have to be a leader. That's going to be a lot, especially as a senior like T is. He's a leader. He's a senior, and he has to bring these freshmen in and show them, give them tips and give them an insight of what it's like to be a leader.
Absolutely. And speaking of the leadership, Coach Colbert, speaking with him earlier this year, that's just one of the things that he talks about is trying to rebuild this culture and set the tone for what Beaumont United wants to be. And same thing with Coach Langston. You know, I interviewed him last year, and he said the same exact thing. You know, we want to build and build and build. You just want to keep growing. You want to show these players what it means to play football, and you want them to improve as players, not only players, but people as well. And we have an injury down on the field. Looks to be a defensive lineman that is hurt on the field. Take an injury timeout here. If you are just now joining the stream, it is currently 7-0. You know, Westbrook is up. In the second quarter, we have 9:47 remaining. It will be 4th down and 4 whenever we get back to playing.
And now we have that defensive lineman standing up. Appears to be number 82.
I think that is number 62 on the field there.
If
He is
that's-
walking off under his own power. That will be, looks like it is Caden Legault walking off of the field there. That is actually one of my friends. If you speak to him, he's a really funny guy, a really big guy. He's really strong out there. He's been on varsity since he was a sophomore, so he's a really good player. You know, he's got a lot of playing time. As we see a long field goal attempt coming out from Westbrook, they're going to be kicking it from the 25-yard line. It would be a 40-yard field goal try. His snap is good, hold is good, and it is through the uprights. That is an excellent play from the kicker there. I mean, that is just excellent for Dylan Purnell. I mean, like we keep saying, all three phases of the game matters, and that will make it a 2-possession lead. Score is now 10-0 for Westbrook.
And unlike last night for the JV and freshman games, you know, we said there was major issues with their special teams and especially the kicking team. But we've seen major improvements tonight with the Westbrook kicker just kicking a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, last night we were speaking about, you know, special teams this, special teams that. But so far, the special teams arguably has been the best aspect of the game so far. We've seen really good punts, pinning the Beaumont United Timberwolves deep, forcing them to throw an interception. And we've seen a field goal, 40 yards. I mean, when do you see that in high school? That is just an excellent, excellent play from Dylan Purnell.
And it's going to be plays like that by your kickers that going to bring you up by a lot. Even though it's 3 points, they're going to mean a lot in this game.
Absolutely, and we have the bands getting loud. I don't know if you can hear them, you know, through the live stream or not, but you might be able to hear him outside your window all the way out here at Doggett Family Stadium. I mean, they know how to get loud. They know how to do it right. So it looked like there may have been a penalty on that, causing Westbrook to kick off from the 40 now. He will kick it all the way into the end zone, and they are going to return it. He's going to take it out of the end zone. He does have a little bit of a lane. He gets to the 20. Can he round that edge? He can, but he's going to get knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
And
that is a little bit of a risky play there. You know, if you just take the knee, you get it out at the 25, but surprisingly, he takes it out, and he gets out to the 30-yard line.
Returning, that was a sophomore at 6'1", Emmanuel Jones, and for the tackle out of bounds was the senior, number 5, Jarvis Bassett. You know, that's great effort by both players here. They were able, the returner was able to find his route, that yellow brick road, and get some yards there.
I like that terminology, you know, with Westbrook. I mean, Beaumont United wearing that maroon and gold. You talking about that yellow brick road. I like what you're doing there. I like what you're doing there.
You know,
So, again, we just want to say a big thank you to everybody that is upstairs with BISD TV. You know, this is a student-run program. We have about 40 kids throughout the program. We have about 20 up here tonight helping us out with the cameras. You know, we want to say a big thank you to everybody there. And, again, this is a production run by students, so, you know, mistakes are bound to happen. But, as we like to say, we're student professionals up here. We like to minimize those mistakes if possible. And so Beaumont United, after what seems to be another penalty, will get marked back to the 10-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for United. And you have to find a way to dig out of this hole. As a good running lane gets open, but he gets tripped up, not getting too many yards on the play.
That was number 1, Darian Anderson, who took off the handoff.
That's a guy that we speak about often here in the booth here, Darian Anderson. We're going to call his name often tonight.
Absolutely. He's a great running back for Beaumont United. He's able to effectively run the football.
Absolutely. And, speaking towards these Westbrook wins, they have wins over Lumberton, MacArthur, and Sterling. And if you look over to Beaumont United, they have early season wins over Houston, Bel Air, and Jasper. So a deep ball coming out. Can he get there? No, he cannot. It looks like there was a little bit of and a flag will be thrown on Westbrook. There was a little bit of tussling there, fighting for the ball, which will cause a penalty to come out. And Beaumont United will go up on the field. It was a 3rd and 7. You just try to take that quote-unquote Hail Mary shot, hoping that your wide receiver can beat that corner. And thankfully, after the incompletion, a flag was thrown. And it will be pass interference on the defense. The ball will get moved up what will be 15 yards. So pass interference, for anybody who does not know, just means that, hey, the cornerback, and it is also an offensive penalty as well. So that just means that you can't put your hands on the guy and push him out of the way. You can't do nothing that restricts him from getting the ball. So we see a couple of juke moves comes out, but nothing really comes out of it. See about a gain of 2 on the play.
That was Kalen Walker, the sophomore, and number 24, Terrell Thibodeau, with a shared tackle. And that places him now on 2nd and 9. This is where it really counts here. Beaumont United is losing by 10 points here with 8 minutes left in this first half. They're going to need a play to get downfield and to score.
Personnel coming out. He's going to throw deep yet again, and it's going to be a one-handed interception. Oh my goodness, he's going to go down the sideline. Can he get... He just got a one-handed interception.
And that was number 16, Braylon Briscoe. He's a junior. In the previous plays, he was the one that actually got the pass interference call, and he just made it up by gaining an interception there. Almost the same route as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that is just an incredible play. Folks, if you did not see that, you need to go back and watch it again. Because that was an amazing play. A one-handed interception. That is just incredible ball skills for Braylon Briscoe. And he actually plays receiver. And like you said, on the previously in the drive, he got called for the pass interference. And then he makes it up by getting that interception. And he gets 20 yards on the return, putting them inside the red zone here. We'll bring up Westbrook's 4th offensive drive, maybe 5th. I'm not too sure about that. Going to be a handoff up the middle yet again for Westbrook. And this is why we see these teams sort of lean towards the run. You were speaking earlier about how both these teams are going to run the football. And, well, I would say that's because whenever they pass the ball, there seems to be a lot of errant throws. Some throws are not on target, and that leads to interceptions like that.
And I think a lot of that is just the defense. Both defenses are playing very well here in this first half, and I think it's going to remain the same continuing into the second half.
As we see a hole up the middle on the handoff, gets about 3, 4, 5 on the play. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for Westbrook.
That was number 26, Tavares Bell, that took the handoff. He's a junior, and he plays running back and wide receiver at 6 foot, 180 pounds.
Yeah, that is a big guy to tackle on the field. And that is something we've seen all night. We've seen broken tackles. We've seen them run the ball up the middle. They're going to try to play smash mouth offense. defenders. Number 1 out there at quarterback is Tam Anderson. He is a sophomore starting on varsity. You know, last year we actually saw him get some reps and him start as a sophomore. That you have to be really, really proud of Tam if you're Westbrook. And again, we will see yet another long field goal coming out from Dylan Purnell. He will kick it through the uprights yet again, making the score 13-0. Still a 2-possession game. If you're Beaumont United, do you start to panic here?
You know, I think, you won't panic, but you will take a sense of urgency. One thing you don't want to do is panic. You want to remain calm, but with a sense of urgency. You want to move quicker and get that ball down the field before those 6 minutes run out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think that, I agree with you. I think that they do have to play with a sense of urgency, and they do have to get points before halftime. So, again, if you do not know, T-Mobile is sponsoring a 5G Lights competition for Beaumont United. You can go like Beaumont United's pinned post on Instagram. The winner will receive a $1 million field upgrade. And that will upgrade anything from the field to the communications. Everything on the field will get an upgrade. So if you haven't already, go like that on Instagram. That is, again, the first pinned post on Beaumont United's Instagram.
And as, Coach Colbert said for Beaumont United, this won't just help the players now. This will help middle school. This will help the future players in the future that will come here to Beaumont United. And it will come to fresh new turf, fresh new field, lights, stadium, all of that. And that will ultimately make them, because, if you look good, you play good, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. What we like to say up here, we got drip, we like to say. As the kick goes into the end zone for a touchback, score is 13-0 with 5:41 left in the second quarter. Ball will be placed on the 25. Beaumont United not having a lot of success on offense tonight. We've seen 2 interceptions thrown and 2 punts. So they haven't really gotten it moving. What would you like to see out of this Beaumont United offense?
Now, like I said before, I want to see a sense of urgency. So far, they haven't been playing too, fast. One thing you don't want to do is rush it, but you want to be fast-paced. And hopefully that's what we'll see here as they march on to the field. They're placed on the 24-yard line in their own half of the field.
We will continue to see Ashton Henry out there at quarterback. No race Deshotel tonight so far. They will hand it off out of the backfield. They're going to run the end around, actually. Seeing some of that trickery. He will get it, but he will stumble, and the ball is out. As we see on the replay, he trips and he just loses control of the ball. That is just something that cannot happen in open space. And Westbrook doing a really excellent job by jumping on top of that football and getting it back.
That is absolutely horrible for this Beaumont United offense. That's going to put the defense back onto the field yet again for their almost 8th drive, as it seems here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can't even keep count. They are on the field. It seems to be this entire first half. I mean, we've seen not enough time for this Beaumont United offense to get rolling. And it might just be a steamroll on the other side for Westbrook as he carries the defender behind him, keeping his legs pumping like a steam engine. Getting a first down on the play is number 30, David White, sophomore running back, 5'9", 160. A little bit of a smaller guy, but, I mean, he just carried a defender for an extra few yards there, so size does not matter for this guy right here.
Coming up at halftime here, we're going to have, of course, the Battle of the Bands, but we're going to have something even better. We have a halftime tug-of-war between student councils of Beaumont, Westbrook, and United.
As Tam Anderson takes it into the end zone, he's going to hit his dance. And, Jacob, what do we like to say over here?
Where is that going, Christian?
To the crib! Tam Anderson in for the touchdown is going to make Westbrook go up 19-0. And it seems like we have a blowout on our hands. What did we expect out of this?
This has been an absolutely horrible first quarter for Beaumont United. They're going to need to step it up here coming into the second half. They still have time on the clock, but the offense is going to need to step up. They're going to need to run better plays, especially if they want to see any better improvements.
Absolutely, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you there. I mean, Beaumont United, they haven't got it going on offense. And their defense is just gassed at this point. They've spent a majority of the time on the field, and it shouldn't be that way if you're Beaumont United. You want to keep your offense on the field scoring points.
Absolutely.
So we will see Dylan Purnell on for the PAT try. Hasn't had any mishaps yet. He's kicked 2 from long yardage, and he's going to hit the scoreboard.
He's been on fire tonight. He's having lots of reps tonight here.
Absolutely, and we love to see that, especially out of special teams. You know, kicker and punter are very underrated positions on the football team. You might think of them as an afterthought, but they are an integral and a very important part of the team. As we see the Westbrook flag runners running across the field, and you love to see that.
With Westbrook 0-20 here in this first half of the game, with the student section after fired up, it's costume night for Westbrook, and we just seen here just a few seconds ago, Westbrook student section. Student was here doing push-ups on the board, almost like he was crowd surfing.
That's amazing. I'm not too sure, but I can see all the way over on the other side of the field. It looks like somebody dressed up as the Lorax. We might have to get the Truffula trees out. But score is 20-0. Westbrook is in the lead with 4:53 left in the second quarter. Westbrook sets the kickoff, and I mean, if you are Westbrook, you just have to be so excited about how this game is going so far. I mean, it isn't even necessarily about how Beaumont United is playing. You just have to look at how well Westbrook is playing. I mean, hitting 2 long field goals, converting both of those, and then getting the touchdown on the quarterback keeper, and then also making those plays on defense as well. You have to be very excited about those if you are Westbrook. So we see yet again another kickoff coming out for Westbrook. And it looked like he stepped into the end zone. It looked like he caught the ball at the 1-yard line, but they will allow him to take a knee. And it will be brought out again to the 25-yard line. We have to see this Beaumont United offense get the train moving. Because, as we've seen before, once they get into their groove, they play really well. But they have not been able to do that yet. They've had a couple of mishaps on the offensive side of the ball, which has led to 2 interceptions thrown by Ashton Henry. And it's led to them being down 20-0.
Absolutely. This is crunch time for this offense. You have plenty of time still left in this game, but if you want to score here before you go into halftime, you got to set that tone for the next half of this game.
Absolutely. As we see a little bit of a scuffle break out onto the field. We were speaking earlier about how passionate these guys are. A lot of these guys have played since elementary school, since middle school. They played together. They played against each other. And for sure, So we will see a trips formation now. They have to pass the ball if you are Beaumont United. You cannot stick with the run game. He's going to step up in the pocket and break 1 sack, but gets dragged down by another. And that is number 15, Marquavian Roach for, that's Beaumont United side. I apologize. That is Keegan Guidry. I apologize yet again. That is Keegan Guidry on the sack there. I mean, getting there first was number 11, Kalen Walker. That is an excellent play. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Beaumont United did attempt to take it and go for the pass here. But the offensive line could not hold up, and it led to a sack. And it will be a free play. Offsides is thrown. Ashton will have to take his check down, but the play will be called dead. So the reason why I said free play there was because the defensive lineman stepped offsides, and he snapped the ball just as that happened. So the referee's going to throw that flag up into the air, and no matter what, if he gets an interception and takes it to the crib, that doesn't matter because of that offsides penalty.
We're going to be saying to the crib a lot more tonight. This game is far from over, as it is 0-20. We're going to see a lot more big plays happening tonight.
Absolutely. It would bring up 3rd down and 14 after the penalty with 3:09 and counting left in the first half. If you're just joining us, this has been a really fun game so far as another flag is thrown. It's been a really fun game so far. We've seen really good plays on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, as well as special teams. Who knew we would have a hat trick here?
And yet again, we got another false start here on this offense, and it's going to put them back even further.
Yep, a 3rd and 19 coming up. But, we're not worrying about that. We're going to worry about the crowd here tonight. The crowd is looking very rowdy. We got cheerleaders. We got the bands. We got all the people looking out. Ashton Henry's going to look deep here, throwing up into triple coverage, and it's caught. But he's dragged down. Oh, my goodness. He got up and head tapped all 3 of those defender, number 24, Emmanuel Jones, making an excellent play there, going up and catching it on 3 Westbrook defenders. There was 2 receivers in the area. Ashton Henry throwing on the run with 2 defenders in his face. I mean, you cannot ask for a better play than that.
And, they're going to have to continue with this sense of urgency with close to the 2-minute warning here. And, they're going to need more plays like that. They're going to need to keep that being repetitive big plays like that.
Absolutely. And speaking of, this Westbrook secondary, they just allowed a big play. One of the people that we have not seen on the field here tonight is Xavier Williams, star safety for that secondary of Westbrook. As we see them throw the screen, he's going to make a move outside, and it's an awkward hit out of bounds. Number 3, Tateen Calhoun, catching that football, making an excellent move, spinning outside and getting a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play there. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 4 for Beaumont United. Now I think that once they get their groove on, get to moving the ball up the field a little bit, this is where we see them sort of settle in, and hopefully they can bite into this lead. So, Jacob, we saw them earlier on in the game, not really get it right on offense. And here, we've seen them have 2 really good plays back-to-back. Do you think they can carry on with that momentum?
Yeah, I definitely think they can. It's still early in the game. They're not tired yet. They still have a lot more energy in them.
So we have a timeout on the field. We just want to say, if you are just now joining us, we are at Doggett Family Stadium. And tonight is the UIL Game of the Week, Beaumont United versus the Westbrook Bruins. It's been a really fun game so far. And, thanks for joining. And also, we have a principal pop-up at the Career Technical Education Center. Join Dr. Threets on the 3rd Thursdays of each month from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. for principal pop-in. You'll have the opportunity to learn about what's going on at C-Tech, ask questions, and find out how you can get involved.
And now Beaumont United comes back to the line on 2nd down with 4 yards to go. 1:48 on the clock.
Here, we spoke about this all game. You have to play with some urgency now. Ashton is going to spin out of a tackle here and get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, losing a couple yards on the play.
And what an attempt by Ashton Henry to try and get away from those defenders and juke them out, but he wasn't very successful there. But it was a great attempt, great effort, and that's what you need. in this game.
So I'm very surprised that Beaumont United has not used any timeouts. We've seen about 20 seconds come off the clock that have not, they haven't had to take that off the clock. They could have called a timeout. They still have all 3 timeouts left still, and they're running the clock down. I'm not sure why. It is going to bring up at 37. He's going to hit him quick on the out route, and just a miscommunication there. You try to get the ball out quick, but the receiver did not look the way of the ball. The intended receiver on the play was number 80, looked like 88 on the field there. Might be not too sure what the mishap was on the field. It would bring up a 4th down and 7. That will also stop the clock. So Westbrook, if Beaumont United decides to punt, will get the ball back with 1 timeout and have a chance to go put more points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. This is crunch time for Beaumont United. There's 1 minute on the clock. They have 2 timeouts remaining, and they're just at the 45-yard line. They're gonna need to make a big play here to get further down the field. They need to get to the crib, as you say a lot here tonight.
Absolutely. So, all they need here is 7. Once you get the first down, then you can start looking towards the end zone. You do have 2 timeouts to work with. You can run that 2-minute offense to show, both of these teams how it's done.
And, it's moments like this, where we mostly see these trick plays that they run here, these fake handoffs, these misdirection handoffs. We're going to see what surprise they're going to pull out here.
Yep, I would not disagree with you that we might see a little bit of trickery here, as we'll see a trips formation come out on the left side of the field for Beaumont United. Might try to look deep here, and he does. He drops back, and he's going to throw it across the field. An excellent throw, excellent catch. Great communication on the play. Will be caught by number 7. Will be Joshua Johnson, senior receiver. Excellent play there. He ran about a 15-yard curl route. He kind of stopped there in the middle of the field. He kind of sat there in between the zones, and that is something you love to see. That is great ball knowledge there. And Ashton Henry dropping back, not worrying about the pressure there, as we see on the replay. He drops back. He throws it in, and it just lands perfectly right in his arms. You cannot ask for a better play to get the first down on arguably the most important play of the game for Beaumont United so far. And a penalty, too, will also move it up another, looks to be 10 yards there. Will bring them inside of the red zone for the first time now this game. You have to be excited if you're Beaumont United.
Yeah, and absolutely, these fans are pumped up. They want a touchdown here. The cheerleaders chanting, "Let's get a touchdown." This is where it matters the most here.
Absolutely. So we see Ashton drop back again. He's going to throw it on the underneath route. He has open space down the field, and he gets tackled at about the 8-yard line. That is number 1, Darian Anderson, yet again making an excellent play. Ashton there, he had some of those crossing routes deeper down the field, but he says, hey, I'm just going to take my underneath route and not force it. And, again, there was pressure on the outside, but what does he do? He does not falter to the pressure. He stands in there, makes a play. As we see a handoff, but will be brought down. 3 Westbrook defenders pushing him backwards. That is Darian Anderson on the carry, number 10 for Westbrook.
This defensive line, as you see there, just wrapped him up and was pushing him back. Man, that's the effort you got to see, especially if you want to continue this, this big blowout.
That was Jason Cartwright on leading the tackle there. It was like a brigade out there. 3 of them making that tackle, pushing them back, and it will be a loss of 2 on the play. We have 30 seconds until halftime. Beaumont United has 1 timeout. Westbrook has 1. May not use that timeout if I'm Westbrook, but you still have plenty of time here. You are inside. You are at the 11-yard line. You have plenty of time. If you are Beaumont United here, you do not have to rush. You do not have to panic. This game is a 3-score game, but it is well within reach if you are Beaumont United.
Absolutely.
So if you're just now joining us, I'm Christian Cox.
I'm Jacob Gidry. We're here at Family Doggy Stadium, located in Beaumont, Texas, at the Beaumont Bowl, biggest rivalry here in Southeast Texas. Well, actually, not the biggest rivalry. We have a lot of equal rivalries out here in the Nederland and Port Neches area. You know, we're going to have some live score updates for you coming in soon, as we're now on 2nd and goal for Beaumont United. 30 seconds on the clock. Ashton Henry, high pass into the corner end zone is going to be incomplete. The target is number 6. Again, that was incomplete. A high ball pass by Ashton Henry.
Number 6, the intended receiver on the play will be Javarius Phoenix.
It's now 3rd and goal for Beaumont United. They're going to need a play here. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I see another handoff here, because that's what this team likes to do. Darian Anderson, number 1 in running back. He's a very elusive running back. He's able to get a gap offered to him by the offensive line, and he's able to take it and bring it to the crib. So here we go, 3rd and goal. We have a timeout now, taken by Westbrook, their last and final timeout. It's interesting to see that they take a timeout here, Christian.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, it doesn't hurt them. The clock was already stopped. And I think by just taking this timeout, you know, if you're Westbrook, you do not want them to get into the end zone with such little time left in the first half. You do not want them to get, you know, an opportunity to score. So I think by taking this timeout here, it gives them a chance to regroup and to call the defensive scheme that they want to.
Absolutely. You know, again, we're on 3rd and goal. The score is 20-0. United with 1 timeout and Westbrook with none. This was our last and final timeout. Coming up at halftime is going to be Westbrook and Beaumont United Student Council tug-of-war. Going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. It's also going to be the battle of the bands. We're going to have a very electrifying halftime here. You know, halftime that we hardly ever see here at Family Doggy Stadium. But the special occasion, the Beaumont Bowl, lots of people in attendance for both schools, so it's got to be the best of the best.
Yep, absolutely. You know, we're just excited about halftime as everybody else in the stands here. But first, we have 3rd and goal coming up. A doubles set on both sides of the field. Looks like a blitzing member of the secondary. It's going to be thrown across the middle and intercepted by Westbrook. The blitzer there, number 45, getting in on the play there. Number 45, Traden Roan, getting there, making Ashton Henry feel the pressure. And number 25.
This is absolutely horrible for the offense. It's 19 seconds in the clock. They're going to get a blowout here in the first half of the game. You know, that's going to set them in a bad position here coming into the second half. They're going to need to improve. They need to make better throws, and their O-line needs to step up and make those blocks.
Yeah, that was Christopher Landry, junior linebacker, on the interception. I mean, if you're Ashton there, you have to see that blitzer coming. And if you're the tackle there, you have to see that blitzer coming as well. He showed his cards pre-snap. I mean, I called it out. I saw it from all the way up here. So if you're Beaumont United, you have to see that, and you cannot just throw it over the middle where nobody's at. He didn't even give his receiver a chance at the ball. He threw it straight to the Westbrook linebacker there, and we will see a run that will bleed the clock all the way down to 0. Score is 20-0. Westbrook on top. You know, this is something that we did not expect. We expected both of these teams as similar records that they have. We did not expect this to be a blowout. We expected this to be a very close game. And a lot of people had Beaumont United coming out on top, but they have not played like the Beaumont United we have seen so far this season. And the score is, again, 20-0. As we see some of the tug-of-war get set up on the field here, some of the students and I think some of the staff are coming out onto the field, some parents coming out onto the field as well. I see some
of our favorites there. I see Mr. Shay Sean, I believe that is Miss Russell, out on the field, and even more teachers and staff and faculty.
Absolutely. We will be trying to get you some live scores here shortly. But for now, we have tug of war going on. This is something we've never seen before, so we'll try to kind of wing it up here in the booth. We have. We're gonna try to get you some nice camera angles. We have people going out to the concession stands, trying to buy their nachos. So Jacob, what's your favorite concession down there at the stands?
You know, I'm gonna have to go with the boudin. The boudin is always perfect here at Dodger Stadium. It's almost like it's smoked. It's just great flavor. It's nice and soft. It's perfect.
As we see, the tug of war has started. Beaumont United has the lead here. They're pulling Westbrook back in Westbrook. Can they get it back? And Beaumont United will get it across the line and take it home. The Timberwolves win the tug of war battle. An excellent last push to pull it across the line for the Timberwolves there. You see some of the band members sprinting down the field. We see some of the cameramen going in, taking the pictures. And even if Beaumont United do not come away with the win tonight, at least they won the tug of war. An excellent play. Hey, I've never seen an actual tug of war game like that before. That was some fight there. And everybody in the crowd, everybody watching the stream at home, you have to be excited to see that. As we see, them on the field taking a nice picture there. That's going to go in the record books for sure. BU wins the first tug of war.
They get a nice plaque here to bring home to their campus. They are the tug of war champions here for the Bowman Bowl.
And if anybody hasn't seen it, you should definitely look up the trophy for the Beaumont Bowl. I was downstairs earlier, and I got to see it firsthand, and I just have to say that is one beautiful trophy. But now we have some live score updates. Nederland Bulldogs are up 10-7 at half on Port Neches Groves. Earlier this season, we had Port Neches in this home stadium, and it was a really good game for Port Neches Groves. But the Nederland Bulldogs are a formidable opponent in that Mid-County Madness bowl that they have over there. An excellent game for them. And if you're the Nederland Bulldogs, you have to be very excited with having a lead on one of the best teams in the state of Texas.
Absolutely. And now I believe that's the Bowman Westbrook Bruins band performing.
So we will have the band playing. Westbrook band, they have their stars. They have their excellent band, going out there. It's a sight to see. If you haven't seen them play or heard them play, you need to come out here and come watch them play live because that band is amazing. Another score update we have is the Lufkin Panthers down 16-14 against the Port Arthur Memorial Titans at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sound Power to the field. Section leaders are Angelica Abeles, Ariel Boatman, Nicole Postawat, Ray Rodriguez, Serena Bernal, Catherine Babineau, Mackenzie Meeker, Natalie Marks, Alicia McMillan, Prudence Campbell, Ricardo Garcia, Sean Matthews, and Leanne Padon. Band captain is Nate Gladiolis. Last Saturday, Sound Power competed in the UIL Region Marching Contest. They earned a superior rating and advanced to the UIL area for the first time since 2018. You can catch Sound Power tomorrow at the UIL Area E Marching Contest at Ray Major Stadium at 9:15. Buses roll at 6 a.m. Now please enjoy. Catch a seat. Orchestra's director is Steve Larson, and the director of band is Stephanie Alcantara. Let's hear it once again for Sound Power Westbrook Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on your feet and make some noise for the Beaumont United Soul of the South Marching Band.
Like I said.
Now here comes the best drum major of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, also known as Big Day Don't Play. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. And now, the band's performance downfield. The drill and the snap just begun. Make some noise again for the Golden Girls. All right, Troublemaker. Let's bring the show home with chocolate style.
All right, so for our first question, what would be your most memorable moment in this season?
Honestly, I would say just spending time with my friends. That's all I know. I just come here to the court, play my heart out, and just be here with my homegirls. That's really it.
And about you?
Definitely spending time on the court or in the locker room and stuff like that.
And, you know, how do you guys stay so locked in and focused before the game?
Honestly, we just know what we came here to do. This is our court. This is our game. We know we come here to win, so we just stay locked in all times.
For my first question, as a coach, what was your most memorable moment this season?
Memorable moment this season, we win my number 2, Isaiah Edwards, learned to jump serve and hit a 1 at the 8th grade level. So awesome, so totally talented.
That's absolutely amazing. And now, in this game, how does communication play a very important role in this team?
This team has been together for a couple of years, and they play select ball a little bit, a few of them together, and so we work on communication because that's the number one reason. And you see where I had to make them do a burpee because they let a ball fall and hit the floor because nobody called it, and that's what we do around here. They don't communicate, they have consequences.
Right, and those burpees that play into the discipline into this team, right?
Yes, sir. Discipline is number one key.
Yes, ma'am. And for my last question, as the season comes to an end, you know, what improvements have you seen in your team and as the players?
There's a couple of players that couldn't even serve overhand, and now they all can serve. And now we're working on actually percentage points. We actually keep stats even at the 8th grade level, so they know what their percentage is. And we want aiming for at least 80%, and they're not supposed to be more than 3 serves per game. And when they do, they run for it. So we're working on overhand serves, getting ready for high school.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I'm Jacob Gidrew, Beaumont ISD TV, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
on the dance floor. The way you moving got me watching, got me wanting more. That's right. I'm trying to hold back. Don't want to lose control, cause you don't it all back. And I gotta take a step back, cause you're so fine. I'm losing my mind watching you so high. The way you move, you're teasing me, girl. You're the type of woman I need in my world.
That was an excellent halftime show. The teams are about ready to go back on the field. And if you are just watching, we had the Odom senior night at Odom Middle School. Their volleyball team, it's their last time playing at their home, in their home court. And Jacob Guidry, my co-host in the studio here, actually got to interview some of the players and their head coach. So, Jacob, how was your experience at Odom?
You know, it was definitely an experience. I got to meet a lot of new people. You know, the volleyball team went over. They just won district, actually, over the whole entire district. They came out as champions. And they actually, the game we visited that you just seen in the video was against the Port Arthur Memorial Titans. Actually, no, it wasn't the Titans, but it was Port Arthur. And they got a blowout win.
Absolutely. They played best out of 3 sets, and they won 2-0. It was an excellent night and an excellent senior night for them. I'm glad that they came out and got a win. As you may have saw, we have Beaumont United back out onto the field, the Westbrook Bruins out on the field. If you missed it, the score is currently 20-0. We're about to start the second half. You know, Jacob, some of the things that we talked about early in this game were defense and special teams. So,
you know, Beaumont United, they haven't had a great first half here.
but the live ended. Okay.
Wait. Where's mine?
She don't gotta be coming in here loud. Oh, well, we are about ready for kickoff here. Beaumont United will be kicking off. They will kick it off a little bit short, and Beaumont United gets the ball back after a muffed recovery for Westbrook.
What a play here. You know, we're going to need more plays like that. You know, Beaumont United needs to take the lead here. They need to score, especially if they want that big silver trophy that's waiting in the natatorium right now.
Absolutely. And, you know, we were speaking about the trickery the whole entire game. And we see a kind of a squib kick there, a shorter kick, and it catches Westbrook off guard. And just an excellent return there for the Beaumont United Timberwolves. So Beaumont United will have the ball. You know, that is amazing for Beaumont United to get that ball back at the start of the half. We're going to see a handoff coming out, and he will break a tackle and gets taken down after about a gain of 4. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Christian Cox with BISD TV, and my co-host is Jacob Guidry. You know, Jacob, we've had a pretty fun game so far.
Yeah, and as this is my first time here in the booth, actually, it's definitely a new experience to me, but I'm enjoying every last second of it. You know, it's something that not a lot of people get to have, not an opportunity a lot of people have. So I'm truly blessed to have this opportunity, especially to be here with you, Christian. You know, you're a great senior. You've been a great colleague to work with, and even a great friend.
Yeah, thank you. You know, you've been a great friend as well, too. As we see a quarterback change, we have Race Deshotel coming into the game. replacing Ashton Henry at quarterback. They're going to be moving Ashton Henry back out to his true wide receiver position. You know, now that we have Race in the game, last week he left the game for an injury. He had an ankle injury, missed the first half of this game, and they desperately missed him because Ashton Henry unfortunately threw 2 interceptions, or was it 3? It was 3 interceptions. Actually, my apologies there. He threw 3 interceptions, had a couple of bad plays, but it's all well and good because Race is now back in the game. And, you know, Ashton is more seen of as a receiving threat than he is a quarterback, you know, a dual threat. But the ball will get knocked out, but it looked to me that he was down. And I think they're going to retain possession. I think they are going to mark him down. And Beaumont United will keep the ball. It will bring up a 4th down and 13. It looks like they're going to stay on the field here.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, it's a wild call to many people. 4th down and 13, you know, that's punt downs, you know. But with the current position of Beaumont United, I think you have to go for it here. You know, the risk is large, but the current position, you know, it's not looking too well for them. So let's see what's going to happen here on this 4th and 13.
And it looks like there was some movement at the line of scrimmage.
And now the punt team is going to come out for Beaumont United. They will not try to go for it after the penalty.
A false start coming out, moving it from a 4th and 13 to a 4th and extra long 18. Messiah Rito will come out to punt here. He's had some pretty good punts so far. As we've talked about earlier on in this game, special teams has been a really big factor. 2 field goal attempts and that have went through the uprights for the Westbrook Bruins, and really long ones at that too. And also some excellent punts. You know, you might not like to see people punt the ball, but when you do, you want to make sure it's a good one. And after about a 30-yard punt there, it will be down by the Timberwolves. Westbrook will get their first opportunity at offense.
And again, that was Messiah Rito off the punt. You know, he's a great guy to be around. You know, me and you, we both have close friendships with him. He's a baseball star as well. You know, what's some things you could share with us that you may know about him?
You know, he's a really light-hearted guy, a really popular guy around the school as well. He knows a lot of people, and he makes friends with anyone. He is willing to talk to anyone and get to know them, and I think that's a really good personality trait that he has.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and he also has the willingness to do the things that, you know, people don't want to do. Because, you know, when you start playing football, when you start watching football, you think, man, I don't want to be punting the ball. I want to go score touchdowns. But he's like, hey, I'm ready to go score touchdowns in another way by punting the ball down the field and getting, you know, them stopped inside of that red zone. As we see Tam Anderson taking himself on the carry. You know, if you're Westbrook, do you think about starting to chew that clock? And we see a 4 quad receiver set here going to run the wide receiver screen to the right side of the field. That is a kind of a weird play call. I've actually never seen that formation before. I didn't even know what to call it. And that is Jalen Duartez with the catch there. That is a really sneaky sort of play call there. Beaumont United didn't really know what to do there, and it led to a pretty big gain for the Westbrook Bruins.
And now with the Westbrook can lead here, you know, a big lead actually, not just a lead, a very big lead. You know, they don't want to
And a fumble on the snap.
Huge confusion there.
And it looks like it is recovered by the Westbrook Bruins, thankfully.
You know, it almost looked as if the quarterback wasn't ready for the snap, maybe calling, you know, a check and audible.
Yep, absolutely. And we see what looks to be like a substitution for Westbrook. Receiver number 14 coming into the game.
He's now 2nd and 15.
Joshua Wilson checks in. He sets a block for Tam Anderson. And Tam Anderson gets about 8 on the play there. Going to set up a 3rd and long situation. Will be 3rd and 5 now for the Westbrook Bruins. Just about 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. If you're just joining us, I am again Christian Cox with BISD TV, joined by Jacob Guidry in the booth for the first time. And also, this production is ran by students. We want to give a big shout out to all our BISD TV student professional workers here at the stadium here. Big shout out to the one and only Cameron Lawson on the 50-yard cam. He was working that the first half. I hope y'all enjoyed some of the shots that we were bringing y'all, and we hope to aim to improve. I mean, we think we have a we're pretty good so far, but we aim to improve. So if you have any tips for us, just let us know.
And I'd also like to shout out, our producer for tonight's broadcast, as Joshua Chambers, and we have Olivia Ross working on live stream graphics, and an even huger shout out to our class instructor, Mr. Cormier. This all wouldn't be possible without him. He's been able to set it up, teach us what we need to know, and we just have to give it to him there.
As we see a 4th down and 4 punt coming out in a big hole, not a lot of defenders back for Westbrook. A big return there sets up the BU Timberwolves at about the 40-yard line. A really good punt, but an even bigger return for the one and only Kedrick Lightfoot. A junior linebacker out there on the return, gets a really big gain and sets up the Timberwolves in really good field position.
Yeah, man, I went to school with Keldrick. He's very fast, as we just seen there on the return. He's got some speed on him, and, Beaumont United is going to need that coming into the second half of this game.
And do you think that Beaumont United is going to change their play style here in the second half?
I think they will, especially with the sub of the quarterback. They went to the run on here for a loss of yardage. But with the quarterback change, I think they're going to have to change things up here. Ashton Henry is no longer here. Race, and we may have an injury here. Yep, we have an injury timeout. But as I was saying,
we have a down Westbrook player on the field. As you were saying, Race on the field.
Yep, he's similar to Ashton Henry. They're both dual threat quarterbacks. They're able to run out of the pocket and, increase, that time that they have to throw. But Ashton Henry, his true home, what we believe, is at wide receiver, and he's able to catch the ball, get downfield, juke out those defenders, and we're going to see some more of that in the second half of the game.
Speaking of Ashton Henry, he's a junior now, and I've been watching him since he was a sophomore and even a freshman. Last year as a sophomore, he had some of the most incredible catches you could see on a football field. He was jumping over guys. He was making plays on the defensive side of the ball. He was playing very excellent just in general. And to see him play quarterback, you want to try to get him some reps, of course. But we both agree that his true position is in that wide receiver role.
Yeah, absolutely. We do love to see him at quarterback, though. He's definitely a great player, multi-position player.
Yeah, so we have number 45, Tradell Roan, coming off the ground. He was previously injured. He's able to walk it off under his own will. Great to hear if you're Westbrook. On both sides of the field, we do not want anybody to get hurt. So we are glad to see him get up and off the field. And one of our highlight players, got to interview him this week, is Carlos Graham. Previously aforementioned that he was in BISD TV. And, one of the things that he always talks about is pancakes and syrup. I think we mentioned it earlier in the game. I think he said he was going to bring a bottle of syrup to the game now. I don't know if he brought it or not, or if he's gotten any pancakes tonight. But we'll have to figure that out.
The targeted receiver on that last play was the running back, Darian Anderson. Race overthrowing him for an incomplete pass. That's going to set them up now on 3rd and 16 here with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yep, and it looks like they maybe thrown a pin. Oh, no. Like you said, the ball is placed at the 33-yard line. They've moved back a little bit after getting the ball up the field. A pressure coming in and a sack now by number 31 of Westbrook. that will be Thomas Brannon, the junior defensive tackle, making the sack there. I mean, that is just an incredible play, fighting through that offensive line and grabbing at Race's knees there and forcing the Beaumont United Timberwolves to yet again punt.
You know, Christian, it's all about effort. You have to put in your all. You have to give your best into this game, because if you don't, that's going to bring the entire team down.
Yeah,
what we just saw there, that was incredible effort by, yet again, number 31.
Yep, that is again Thomas Brannon on the sack there. Race just not able to step up in the pocket and take it for a run. And we see Messiah Rito punt the ball yet again. About a 30, 40-yard punt there, going to be fair caught at about the 40-yard line.
And that was number 3, Jalen Darts.
At this point of the game, if you're Westbrook, you have to think about taking more time off the clock. You do not want to give Beaumont United any more chances to come back. And the score is currently, it is a current 3-score game. So that means that Beaumont United has to score 3 touchdowns in order to tie or potentially take the lead of this game.
Yes, it may seem like it's a hard task, but trust me, this Beaumont United offense has some great tricks up their sleeve, and we're going to see a lot of those for the rest of this game.
See motion across the line here. It's going to be a run. Oh, and ball is out, and yet again is recovered by Beaumont United. They keep getting bailed out on the defensive side of the ball. A couple of big mistakes coming out from Westbrook. Let's see if Beaumont United can finally capitalize on these mistakes that we have.
Yeah, this defense is absolutely fired up. Even the coaches running out into the field, you know, dapping their players up, giving them high fives. You know, this is a big moment, a big turning point. They have an opportunity to score now. Great field position on the opposing side of the field. You know, they just need that momentum, and they need to continue that hype, that energy to make some scores happen.
You know, absolutely. And, you know, factors, keeping the players warm, you know, making sure that they're not getting out of the game, or like, well, by getting out of the game, I mean making sure that they keep their head in the game. If you are mentally not there, you cannot perform physically on the field. As we see number 3, oh, that is Tatine Calhoun there, our player of the week there, making a couple players miss on that stick route there.
And I believe that was a great pass by, you know, the quarterback, Race. He was able to adjust and make that throw very quickly. And we have an injury now on the field. A Bruins player is down on the field. We are unsure who that is at the time, as the athletic trainers for Westbrook run out to assist him.
So we also have player on the week, James Moore, on the other side of the field. You know, speaking of the player of the week, what does that mean to be the player of the week?
You know, again, what it means to be player of the week, you have to be an all-around leader for the team. You have to be a team player. You have to be able to communicate well and just do good in the classroom, of course. You have to do well on the field. If you can't do those 3 major things, then you aren't qualified to be player of the week. So when you get that role, when you're being told you're getting a player of the week, you should feel some type of, you know, happiness and, you know, some type of accomplishment, because that's a big role to achieve.
As we see the injured player get up off the field, he seems to be okay. So if anybody's wondering why the camera is not on any of the players right now, we do not like to show the injuries. We just think that's good for the sportsmanship. You know, do not want to see any of our players down on the field. So we tend to pan the camera away, make sure that none of that is being shown. But we have Beaumont United taking the field for a first down. We have 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. As we see a handoff to the left side of the field, he does get the edge, but gets pushed out of bounds after a very minimal gain there.
And we see he actually ran into some athletic trainers and other personnel on the United sideline. Hopefully they're okay there.
Yep. So the score is 20-0. Like we said, it is a 3-score game. Do you think that Beaumont United has any more tricks up their sleeve?
Like I said earlier in this game, Christian, this team is full of surprises. You never know what's going to hit you at any given moment. So, absolutely, they definitely have more up their sleeve, and there's no doubt that they're going to use them.
So we see Beaumont United bringing out their famous 21 personnel, going to hit the swing route in the backfield. He's going to take it up the field for about a gain of 6 or 7 on the play. Gets tackled by about 5 Westbrook defenders there. That isn't, something we don't see a whole lot is that 21 personnel from a lot of other schools. 21 personnel represents how many running backs and tight ends are in the game. So 21 personnel means that there's 2 running backs and 1 tight end in the game. Running backs come first, tight ends come second. So as we see them take the snap yet again, Tracy's going to drop back. He's trying to look. He goes through his reads. A little bit of pressure. Rolls out to his right now. He's going to throw it over the top, and it is caught at the 1. But did he get into the end zone? The referees are going to mark him out of bounds at the 2-yard line. He reached for the pylon, but he stepped out of bounds beforehand. Excellent throw and catch by Race there. Not sure who. It looks like number 3, Tatine Calhoun, caught the ball there. Excellent play. Going through his read, seeing that, hey, nobody's open. And then he rolls out to the right and finds an open man in that gap and get a completion and get closer to that end zone.
As I mentioned in our pregame show, in our opener to this Beaumont Bowl, I said that this is a super power duo here. Race and T. Calhoun, they are big-time players for this offense.
Absolutely, and we see exactly why Race is this team's leader and this team's captain. As we're going to see the motion left, and he's going to have the touchdown. Finally, Beaumont United is on the board here. We've said Westbrook so many times, I'm saying it over him. So Beaumont United is finally on the board here, making the score 6-20 with 4:25 left in the third quarter. Excellent play call, bringing that guy across the field, making him run to that outside pylon. And we have a touchdown.
And that was number 1, Darian Anderson, with the touchdown. And we hear the band fired up out here. They're going crazy. The twirlers, cheerleaders, even the student section, they're going absolutely crazy.
Yep. And if you're Beaumont United, you know that this game is not out of reach yet. As we see the PAT to make it a 13-point game. Like I was saying, this is still winnable for Beaumont United. The PAT is up and through, making it a 7-20 game. Beaumont United, they gained a little bit of momentum. They did get, a couple forced fumbles. They did recover that trick kick, as we'll call it. A little bit of a mishap on the recovery for Westbrook. But, Beaumont United has not capitalized on these mistakes that Westbrook has made. And Westbrook has capitalized on the mistakes that Beaumont United has made. So I think that if Beaumont United were to be able to capitalize more often on these offensive opportunities, that they would have a chance to win this game.
And, I think those mistakes are just learning points here, not just for the players, but even the coaches. They have to make those mistakes. They have to find out how to get around this Westbrook defense. And once they find that, they make a touchdown, as we just seen on the last play.
Yep, a very good drive there. When you have such athletic guys on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, sometimes you just have to let them make a play. You can do everything you can to set the play up right, and hopefully, they make the right play, right read, whatever you want to say. But sometimes you aren't going to be given those opportunities, and sometimes you just have to hope that they make a play. And that's what Race did. That's what Darian Anderson did to get into the end zone and put them in a chance to come back and hopefully win this game. Another squib kick coming out. It's going to be recovered this time. No mishaps here. A squib kick coming out. You're a little bit like, hey, why didn't they just kick it deep? Well, they're trying to get the ball back.
We're even seeing a little bit of over-aggressiveness, some would say, on that last play.
Yeah, if you looked at the far end of the field, you had some players talking to each other. Not sure what happened on that side of the field as we were looking towards the ball, but that just speaks to the rivalry that Beaumont United and the Westbrook Bruins have. This is the UIL game of the week. A very, bittersweet rivalry. A lot of these guys have played with and against each other in, middle school, elementary school, all sorts of things of that nature. So as we have first down and 10, they're just going to run the ball up the middle and a short gain of maybe 2 on the play. They're going to just try to chew the clock here. And when I say chew the clock, I mean they're not going to try to stop the clock. They want to keep that clock moving to leave Beaumont United with as little time as possible. As we get close to the end of third quarter, we have about 3 minutes left. Score is 20-7. And at the end of the quarter, we will give you some live score updates for schools in our area. We see Westbrook looking towards the sideline, hopefully probably making a change. As we see no safety help over the middle of the field, over top. It looks like they're going to try to bring the heat and blitz here. Now they're going to make a late adjustment, a run up the middle yet again. Beaumont United, they had a lot of players in that box there, but did not get as much of a stop as they wanted to, as the Westbrook Bruins get about a gain of 5 there on the play. It is now 3rd down and 1. If you are Beaumont United, this is a really big, important play here. If you get a stop, you force them to punt. But if you don't get a stop, they keep moving with the ball. So Tam's going to keep it, and he breaks free. He breaks free yet again. He spins out of a tackle, and he gets the first down, getting 6 yards past that first down marker.
And lots of contact there by this quarterback. Contact really isn't, advised, especially if you're a quarterback. But that just goes to show how aggressive this quarterback is. He's able to fight through and get those yards.
Absolutely. We've seen Tam Anderson grow as a player all season, and he is a very strong player, we would like to say. I mean, just the growth from his freshman year to now starting on as a sophomore is just incredible growth. As we see a big hole opened up, a big hit, too, coming in from number 9. That will be number 9, Quan Andrews on the tackle there, QB/ outside linebacker there, getting a big hit there.
Now, Quan Andrews, he had a great season last year. He was just a freshman last year. He played quarterback, and this year,
as the play gets called dead, and a kind of a late tackle there after the whistle was blown. But we have a score update for you. The Nederland Bulldogs are currently beating the Port Neches Groves Indians 24-14 in the fourth quarter. If you are Port Neches, do you start to get a little bit of scared there, as you are one of the best teams in the state of Texas and arguably the best team in 5A in the state of Texas? If I'm Port Neches Groves, I'm a little bit scared to hear that score right there.
And yeah, both of these schools here at the Bowman Bowl have had their experiences, with Port Neches Groves. They're a great team, and as you said, one of the best in 5A.
Absolutely. So we coming right at the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Westbrook is again up 20-7, and we have 2nd down and 11 after. Oh, another fumble coming in on the snap. A bad handoff results in the fumble. Number 30 is the one for Westbrook, who fumbled the ball. Christopher Norman on the recovery there. Just another mishap, and Beaumont United is finally starting to put things together.
This is a momentum shifter for Beaumont United. They need that momentum for the offense. They have to get downfield. They have to score here.
Yep, and you got to capitalize on these mistakes. We said it earlier. Westbrook capitalized. They got 3 interceptions, and, they made plays off of it. They scored 20 points because of it. Whereas Beaumont United, they have not been able to capitalize on those mistakes. So previously on the last play, Tam Anderson handed it off to number 30, David White, and David White could not corral that ball and keep his possession going. As we see Ashton Henry catching the ball from Race. We spoke about Ashton earlier, and he's finally getting that ball in that receiver's position. With Ashton Henry, you want to get him out into space. He can go over top of guys and catch the ball too, but if you get him in open space, he is a very, very strong threat in the open space.
And, it takes a different type of toughness to just go from quarterback to receiver in just one game. You have to have that energy and even have that mindset to just get out there and play every position.
Absolutely. As we see a handoff up the middle to Darian Anderson, he gets hit after a really nice gain up the middle. We've seen some very hard running from both schools tonight. I mean, what can you speak to that?
Yeah, that's just how they play. That's their play style. Both of these schools, they love to run the ball. They have great elusive running backs here, and they're just first down machines. They're able to get those first downs to keep the ball moving, to keep good, successful winning drives.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have about 30 seconds now left in the third quarter. He breaks it up the middle. He's going to try to run back. He breaks yet another tackle but falls down, and that will be a big loss for Beaumont United. That got stuffed right at the snap. I mean, those Westbrook linemen were right there as soon as the ball got to the running back, and we have an injured Westbrook Bruin on the field.
Possibly a leg injury here on the ankle.
That is number 15 down. Number 15, Keegan Guidry. Called his name a few times tonight. Hopefully he is okay.
Because, yeah, he's definitely one of their star defensive players that helped them, hold that line down.
Absolutely. So we have 15.7 seconds left after the injury timeout. We've had a really good game so far. The atmosphere is just incredible. We've had booths, people selling food in the food trucks. We've had tug of war games, people winning trophies, taking pictures. We've had the middle schools here to show out. It has just been an incredible atmosphere here so far. And thank you again to everybody that is attending here tonight at the game, and everybody on the live stream. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you watching, and it couldn't be possible without you guys.
A reminder, this is a BISD TV. This is a program at the Career Center. This is a production ran by students.
Yep, it is run by students. Early we gave a shout out to our very own Cameron Lawson as it is thrown to the left side of the field. It's going to limp out of bounds. Might have rolled his ankle there. A little bit of a miscommunication there by Race. Just a second left on the clock here.
And that was Emmanuel Jones, the targeted receiver, number 24.
We've called his name a few times as well. He had a really big play earlier in the game, quote-unquote mossing, as we like to say, 3 defenders in the middle of the field.
I just want to talk about this rivalry. This game is like a tradition that happens once a year. When you think about football for both of these schools, you think about Beaumont United, you think about Westbrook. As you see, we have a lot of people here, a lot of fans, even children on the sidelines just playing football, most likely Little League teams. And,
yeah, absolutely. When you think of the city of Beaumont, this is one of the things that comes to mind. The Beaumont Bowl. Both of these teams fighting back and forth. Whoever wants to win the trophy, you got to show out on the field here. And looking back at it over the past 5 years, or the past 5 meetings, we have Westbrook winning 4 out of the last 5. The first win for Beaumont United coming out last year in a 16-6 win. So looking at some of the scores from around the area, we had the Lufkin Panthers down 16-20 against the Memorial Titans in the third quarter. Earlier we went to the Nederland Bulldogs versus Port Neches Groves game, and that was 24-14. Port Neches Groves being down by 10 there. Jasper Bulldogs up 13-8 against the Shepherd Pirates at halftime. As we see the Beaumont Timberwolves take the field here, a bad offsides penalty. He's going to throw it deep here on the free play, and it just falls incomplete here, intended for Ashton Henry. That is something that these coaches have drilled into these quarterback and receiver tandems. We've seen it a lot in the NFL. I don't know if any of y'all know about Aaron Rodgers. He is known as the king of these free plays. He gets these people to jump off sides, and it's called a free play because no matter what happens, you're going to retain possession. So if it's interception, gets taken back for a touchdown, does not matter. It will get called back. That's why they're looking deep no matter what. As we see a 3rd and 14 coming up for the Beaumont United Timberwolves, they're going to run back that 21 personnel, bringing those 2 running backs into the backfield there alongside Race. He's going to drop back and looking across the middle there, complete a really nice grab by Ashton Henry. A little bit of a high ball there, but he still has the opportunity to grab it out of the air. I mean, that was just a perfect ball.
Man, these two are absolutely on fire this game. Ever since Race got back into the game, it's been nonstop targets for them, and we have some talking coming from the coaches as they come now line up on 1st and 10 with just about 15 yards to the end zone.
Yeah, but it's going to be a handoff inside. He bounces off a defender, bounces off another, and finally gets dragged down at the 11-yard line. That is just, I feel like the momentum is starting to swing here. If you are Beaumont United, you start to feel it coming back, finally getting their groove on.
And that was number 7, Joshua Johnson. He is a senior for Beaumont United. He's called his name a lot of times tonight. He's been a great player and a great weapon for this offense here.
Yeah, I've been speaking about some of these seniors. This will be their final time playing in the Beaumont Bowl. This will also be my final time up here, commentating on the Beaumont Bowl. I wish I could commentate here forever because this is an amazing series, amazing place to be here on these Friday nights. But, we look on to bigger, better things, and that's what some of these seniors are going to be looking forward to.
Right, absolutely. We have, a group of talented student professionals here at BISD TV, and, your work here, Christian, will be continued on forever, and, you've passed down a lot of inspiration to a lot of these student professionals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that. And, of course, you too, we're looking forward to what potential you have and all these other students that we have. And not just us up here in the booth, but also the students on the field. A lot of these people, they have dreams of playing football, playing whatever. And we just want hope that they catch their dreams.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Ashton caught that football down.
I like that. Definitely. Beaumont United, they're close to the crib, as we say here at BISD TV. It will be very interesting to see if they can score here with just 10 minutes left on the clock. They're down by 2 touchdowns. They want to win this game. They're going to need to step it up. They're going to need to play with a sense of urgency. It's the same thing before halftime earlier in this game. They were down by
40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. If Beaumont United scores here, it will be a 1-score game, and that is very, very good here. As we see the motion across the field, it's going to be a handoff to number 8, Deshaun Hope.
and a big push, a lot of aggressiveness there by this Bruin defense.
Yeah, that's something we've seen all night. I mean, I spoke about it earlier. I spoke with the defensive side of the ball has won the line of scrimmage this game, and that's what has caused a lot of these mistakes for both sides. So we have Race looking at the sideline, not sure what he's looking at. He's going to hit T on a motion. He's going to look straight to Ashton. He's throwing it deep, and he pushes off, and a flag will be thrown as Ashton did not get the opportunity to jump up for that ball. It looks to me like it was number 29, Devon Clark, there with the penalty. That was just a pass interference call if you've ever seen one.
And that was actually
and it will be a first down on the 2-yard line, actually.
And as we watched, the JV game last night, we could see they were set up on the 1-yard line, and they set a nice misdirection for a touchdown. But it was called back due to a taunting call. So I'm curious to see if they're going to run that same play here.
Absolutely. We do see a lot of these sort of trick plays come in from this Beaumont offense. As we see the motion, he's going to just hand it off up the middle, and it will get nowhere as the Westbrook Bruins push him back, saying, no, you are not allowed through.
And we've seen this way too many times tonight. He's just getting triple teamed. Number 8, he's just getting pushed back and back.
Yep, like we keep saying, the game is won at the line of scrimmage. That defensive line is not going to let nobody through it. They're going to have to hit the outside runs here. We see the Beaumont United offense looking towards the sideline here, looking at Coach Colbert. Coach Colbert telling them, saying, hey, blah, 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 blah. He's telling them what they need to do. And let's see what they do here as they're set up 2nd and goal here with 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter. A score here would be amazing as it's a direct handoff to Ashton, but he throws it, and it's going to be intercepted, and he's going to take it down the sideline. Number 5 for Westbrook.
Where is that going?
To the crib.
To the crib.
Westbrook gets a pick 6, and that will most likely seal the deal for the Westbrook Bruins. If you are Ashton Henry, you have to be asking yourself, what are we doing? In that situation, you have nobody open. You have no reason to throw the ball down the field.
It's 2nd down. You're in your own, you're in a 5-yard red zone. You don't want to throw it. Just take the sack. Run it again on 3rd down. Even if you don't make it 3rd down, you have a 4th down to go. So that just wasn't a great decision there.
Yep, and as we see number 5, Jarvis Bassett there, getting the pick and taking it all the way to the crib. And that will most likely in the game here, sealing the deal on what will be a Westbrook victory.
Now, Beaumont United, if they want to win, they need an extreme miracle here. They need some help. The coaches, they must step up, and even the players, they have to step up, be leaders, and continue to fight in this game.
Yep, as we see Westbrook going up 27-7, pushing it back to a 3-score game now.
And now Beaumont United fans are clearing the stands. They're losing hope, and that's something that you definitely don't want to have in a team. You want to continue to stay here. You want to continue to cheer on, even in a loss situation.
Yep. With about 8:45 left in the game, score is again 7-27. Westbrook Bruins are currently in the lead here. The time is 9:23. Some of these people want to get home, get in their beds. They got that Saturday going on tomorrow, starting their weekend a little bit early. Ain't nothing like the weekend, as we like to say.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have Beaumont United will receive the ball after a big mistake coming out. And what do you think they have to do to get back in this game?
It's not too much that, too many options that they have. A lot of their options and opportunities were presented early in this game, but they just weren't able to pull it off. But, there's still 8 minutes on the clock, and things can happen fast. So, Beaumont United, they need some big plays here, big runs, big passes. They need to work hard here.
Absolutely. They have to work hard to get into that end zone. You have to give a lot of effort to make a final push there. And, again, this game is a 3-score game. It could be seemingly out of reach. But, they were one play away from making this a 1-score game. And it would have been completely different if they were able to score a touchdown there instead of throwing a pick 6 there. We have the Westbrook Bruins set to kick off here. He's going to be Dylan Purnell there, kicking it all the way down the field, looking like an NFL kicker there. Kicking it into the end zone, and it will be a touchback for Beaumont United.
This kicker has been, I've never seen a kicker excel this well in a game like this.
Absolutely. We spoke about it so many times throughout the game. Special teams has to show out. We've seen offense play very well. We've seen the defensive play very well, although the score shows otherwise. Beaumont United's defense has played very well. They've gotten a lot of good plays. They've gotten multiple turnovers, multiple fumble recoveries. And the most surprising aspect of the game, I have to say, is special teams. I mean, we've seen every PAT get made, which you should expect that at this level. But also these long field goal kicks. We've seen him kick it from the 30-yard line. We've seen him kick it from the right side of the 30-yard line. And that is something that you don't very often see, these 40-yard field goal attempts. We don't see that in these levels.
Absolutely. So now Beaumont United is setting up on their 25-yard line. They need big plays right here, right now.
He's going to snap it. He's going to hand it off. And it looks like he's looking to throw, just throws it out of bounds. And it's yet again picked off. Not sure if he was downed or not. Number 12 for Westbrook jumping into the end zone. That is Derek McGrew there. Yet another pick six coming in. Back-to-back plays. And Jacob, where's that going?
To the crib. That's where it's going.
To the crib. And at this point, Westbrook might be rocking the baby to sleep. And, you know, if you're Beaumont United, you do not want to panic. You had, you know, it was almost a one-possession game. If you do not panic right there, you most likely get into the end zone and make it a one-possession game on that previous drive. And then you get the ball back after throwing the pick six. And what do? You start panicking. And you know what he does? And he throws another pick, and it goes all the way into the end zone for yet another pick six. That is just something you do not want to see if you are Beaumont United. The score now is 33-7. Westbrook is kicking the PAT. And you see Dylan Purnell out there to kick yet again, our star kicker, because we talked about him a lot tonight. So
yeah, definitely. And you know, that last play, it looked very similar to that double pass touchdown that we seen earlier in this season by Beaumont United, but they weren't able to pull it off this time.
Nope, absolutely. I mean, on the double pass earlier in the season, he threw it to him, and since it's, you know, going backwards, it's counted as a lateral, and that means that he's still eligible to throw the ball. And on this play, he hands it off, he runs to the right side, and it looked like he was gearing up to throw that ball down the field. And he's like, hey, I don't have enough time. I'm going to run out of bounds. And at the last second, he tries to throw it. And I don't really see the reason as to why he did that. But if you do not know, the score is 34-7. Westbrook is set to receive with about 8:33 left in the game. You know, some of the players that we've been keeping an eye on, Dylan Purnell, Tam Anderson, Darian Anderson, as well as Tatine Calhoun, Player of the Week, James Moore, Player of the Week. You know, a lot of these guys know each other. It's a big rivalry game. And so what about y'all's rivalry? I know you play baseball, Jacob. You know, playing Westbrook, what is that like for you?
Well, you know, rivalry is pretty much the same for just about every sport here. But, you know, it's definitely, you know, it's big rivalry. It's a big love-hate relationship. You love them. You love the players. But when it gets to that time to play, when you get on that diamond, you know, there's really no relationships, no more friendships. It's all about competition and who's going to come out in the end with that win.
Absolutely. And you know, you're speaking to all the other sports, you know, soccer, volleyball, regardless of what sport it is, there's always going to be, you know, a rivalry, you know, between the players. You know, they're going to fight their hardest and try to win. And you know, a lot of people before the game were saying, hey, Beaumont United's going to take this one. As we see him take it out of the end zone and gets tackled at the 15-yard line. He had a little bit of a space there to run with it, but couldn't get nothing out of it.
Now, T. Calhoun has been targeted a lot so far on these kick returns. And, you know, he's a very great receiver, but he's haven't been able to get far on these returns.
Yep, a couple of big plays coming in for, you know, the receiving core of Beaumont United. We've seen 3 receivers make incredible plays so far between Ashton Henry, Tatine Calhoun, and number 24, Emmanuel Jones. For both teams, they've made incredible plays, and, you know, you can't forget about that.
Yeah, this is a huge shutout here in the Bowman Bowl. Game is 7-34, which is 8 minutes left on the clock. You know, Westbrook, he may come out here with the win.
Absolutely. They're up 27, a 4-score game here. Beaumont United most likely going to not get the ball 4 times to score 4 touchdowns. As we see A wide receiver screen here to Ashton Henry. He's going to juke out one defender, and he's going to try to run up the field. And can he get out of bounds? He does take a step out of bounds. That will stop the clock.
Yeah,
And we'll
Beaumont United will need to make more plays like that, but they need to be repetitive, especially if they want to close that a big gap there in the score.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, what can you say about both of these bands? We can hear the band for Beaumont United still playing, even if they are losing. So what can you say about some of these bands tonight?
Yeah, and that just talking about, you know, they're still playing, even in a loss scenario, in a loss situation. That just goes to show the school spirit, you know. And
As we
have
see a
another-
turnover, Westbrook going into the end zone. He's in front of the camera. He's getting
it's a
hype in front of the camera.
Super late hit. This may be coming back, and this may still be in Beaumont United's possession.
That was Nicholas Stuberfield on the return there, scoring the touchdown. Not sure if they rolled him out of bounds. The referees are talking about it on the side of the field. As you see on the replay, number 4, Nicholas Stuberfield, got into the end zone, gets in front of the camera, hits a little bit of a celebration, and he did not step out of bounds there on the replay. So they will mark it as, should be a touchdown if it stands. And Westbrook just increasing this lead. Beaumont United cannot seem to get it going after what seemed to be the start of a comeback.
Now, both of these bands have been playing very well here in this Beaumont Bowl. They even had a little battle in the parking lots during the pregame show and the tailgate outside. You know, the tailgate, it was absolutely nice. I didn't get the chance to go, but we could smell the food all the way up here from our 50-yard film deck.
Absolutely, that was the talk of the town, was like, hey, that food down there smells amazing.
Yeah,
So
man.
shout out to everybody that came, you know, purchased food, sold the food. Shout out to that. So they will get the ball, or Westbrook will get the ball, but they will not rule it a touchdown. So Nicholas Stuberfield, sorry to tell you, touchdown got called back, man. But Tam Anderson will have the ball. They're just going to try to run this clock out now with about 7.5 minutes left in the game. Just a handoff to number 25 there. That would be Christopher Landry.
Now, here just with 7 minutes left on the clock, United has 3 timeouts, Westbrook with 2. You know, they're close, and they're in the red zone here, and BU is going to need another stop. If not, they're going to go down there and get that touchdown.
So if you haven't already learned, T-Mobile 5G Lights is a thing that Beaumont United is in. We are one of 16 schools to be given this chance. We have a video posted on the Beaumont United Instagram page, and whoever gets the most likes wins the sponsorship, which will grant a $1 million field upgrade. A couple members of our BISD TV staff actually had a hand in making the video. Myself, Christian Cox, and Joshua Chambers are just some of the students that have had a hand in some of that stuff. So if you haven't already, make sure to go out and like the first pinned post on Beaumont United's Instagram. And, you know, actually, I don't know if any of y'all are tuned in on TikTok, but I've been on TikTok a lot, and I've actually seen, you know, Rob Gronkowski on some of those T-Mobile ads for the 5G lights. When you see the ad on TikTok, our school is the first school on there. That's the first school they mention when they talk about 5G lights. So we have a very good chance to win that. So if you go like it, it helps our chances of winning, and we thank you for your support. As we have Westbrook at the 1-yard line, it will be first down. And it seems to me like they're going to try to run the ball into the end zone again. It will be a handoff, but he will get stopped. Can he break out of the tackle? No, he cannot. That would be Jalen Dartez on the carry there. Now they just go for that inside handoff.
Now, even in Westbrook's attempt to chew out the clock here with a run play, they're still able to get big yards and make big plays just off these small run plays that aren't even intended to, you know, get a touchdown. Is mainly to chew that clock out.
Yep, absolutely. At this point in the game, you do not need a touchdown. It is it would just be great, say like, hey, on the stat sheet, this is what the score looked like. This is who scored a touchdown. But it is not needed to win the game. So who knows, they might be trying not to score here just to burn a little bit more time off that clock. We will see Tam stay in the game. Jalen Dartez back there again. He's going to get the handoff, and it will be a defensive stop yet again. He was just inches away from scoring yet another touchdown, and he got stopped.
And now Westbrook on third down. Could Beaumont United force Westbrook into a fourth down situation here and maybe even getting a stop here late in the fourth quarter?
Yep, absolutely. The game now a 27-point deficit for Beaumont United with 4:26 and counting on the clock. Beaumont United opting not to use their timeouts as this game is most likely out of reach. Westbrook came in here and absolutely dominated from the very first snap of the game. Beaumont United a little bit shaky at the beginning, not really getting that offense going until early in the third quarter when they scored that lone touchdown. And the clock is stopped, 4:06 left as a timeout comes in.
I believe that was taken by Westbrook, as they are now down to one timeout, and Beaumont United with 3 timeouts.
3rd and goal coming up after the timeout. And we would just like to say thank you to the Career Center. They host these things called Future Ready Labs. Schools from around Beaumont come in and they get the opportunity to tour CTEC. CTEC standing for the Career Technical Education Center. So these students, they come in and we host these tours. The students get to come in and they see what the Career Center is all about. They get to learn about all the programs of study that we have, and we actually do some of those tours.
Yeah, and it's truly an experience to see these young innovators come into the Career Center and us being able to have the opportunity to show them, what we do and give them an introduction into possibly even a new career path for them.
Absolutely. What we aim to do by hosting these Future Ready Labs is to show these students what their dreams are. As Jalen Dartez goes in for the touchdown, up in the score to 40 on Beaumont United. Jalen Dartez was probably begging the coaches to put him in at running back on the sideline because he just got 3 straight carries in the red zone to go in for a touchdown.
This is absolutely huge for Westbrook. They came into this game saying, hey, we're going to take that trophy back to our campus, and it looks as if they are going to do that here.
Last year, I'm not sure if anybody was on the live stream last year, but I may have said a few words to Westbrook, not being nice to him about that trophy. And we see some people running around on the field. I thought they were carrying the trophy or not. I don't think they are. Actually, that might be the trophy.
No, it just looks like some flyers here.
Yeah, just some flyers. They don't got the trophy yet. So it seems to me like we are going to have a presentation at the end of the game as we see the Westbrook flag bearers running across that field with a beautiful red and blue there.
Again, we thank you all for tuning in to our live stream here with BISD TV. This is a program and a broadcast ran by student professionals here at BISD.
Absolutely, and thank you yet again to everybody that is tuning in and everybody in the stands, everybody on the field. It could not be done without y'all. We have 4 minutes left in the game. Westbrook is up 41-7 against Beaumont United. And, comparing this game to last year.
I sent you a message. One of the viewers said thank you for the run.
Oh, well, we have news just coming in that one of the commenters said, hey, thanks for the broadcast. Absolutely, you're welcome. We are here to bring you live BISD sports. We go to anywhere on campus. It could be Beaumont United related, Westbrook related, as we have students in both of those schools. And also off campus, as you saw earlier in the game, Jacob Guidry and a couple other students went to Odom Middle School and filmed some videos there. So, always, if you want to tune in, we have Instagram page And, you can see that on the BISD Instagram page as well as the BISD TV Instagram page if you would like to learn more about some of the insight, some of the stuff we do, in our free time.
Yeah, here in this late fourth quarter, Christian, the stands are just getting emptier and emptier as we have a touchback now. And, I think we have a clear winner here. It's going to be Westbrook. I did think in the beginning of the game that it was going to be Beaumont United to get back-to-back bowl champions here at Family Dog Stadium, but that's not going to be the thing here tonight.
Yeah, going into the game, there was a lot of talk at the Career Center because that's where both, schools meet up. We have Westbrook students, we have Beaumont United students. They come to the Career Center. And so we saw it firsthand. People were talking a lot of smack, to each other. And, last year, Beaumont United came out with a victory, winning 16-6. And a lot of people thought that Beaumont United was going to come out and do that again. Maybe not as close of a game as we thought. And Westbrook is the one taking it back to their home campus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before the game, a lot of us had Beaumont United on top, and we did not imagine that the score would be this different from what we predicted. I mean, Westbrook just completely blowing the top off of the Beaumont United engine there.
And speaking of blowing the top off, that was an amazing tackle by the Westbrook defender, but it was a first down for Beaumont United. So that's going to move the chains to, what is that? That is the 39-yard line. And I'm curious to see what Beaumont United is going to do to shorten this lead here.
And yet another interception.
Wow.
And he's trying to force it. And number 24 will take it in for the touchdown. That would be Terrell Thibodeau.
Wow, that's honestly, man, that's another one to where, Christian?
To the crib for Westbrook. Westbrook going up 47-7, dropping the bomb on this Beaumont United team. And we have a blowout on the field.
We do. This is honestly very surprising. I wasn't expecting this large of a lead by Westbrook here in this Bowman Bowl, but I was proved wrong.
And that's not to say that we didn't think Westbrook could win, because before the game we talked with players from both teams, and we've been here, we've been watching every single game that they've played, so we thought that we had a really good game on our hands. We thought that this game was going to be close, hard fought, and even though that, hey, we're students of BU, we're a little bit biased towards BU, we kind of wanted them to win, we still thought that, hey, Westbrook has a chance. We didn't think that they had this big of a chance. Now putting the lead up to 41, I mean, that is just amazing for Westbrook.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to have a lot of hype going back into school Monday. It's going to be, these players are going to, they're going to be celebrities if they're not already.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of those, the popular people at school, they're on the football team, so like you said, if they're not already celebrities, they're going to be celebrities now for sure. One of the names that we haven't mentioned tonight, I don't know if y'all saw it, but we had the pregame show. And on the pregame show, we interviewed the one and only Xavier Williams, senior safety. And tonight he did not play. He is unfortunately hurt right now. And to be honest, that has not really been as big of an impact as it may have seemed for the Westbrook secondary there. There was one play that we did mention his name, or Xavier's name, but that was because it was a good play for Beaumont United. He went up and caught it on three members of the secondary there, and Zane wasn't on the field. So we were like, hey, Zane was on the field. Maybe that play doesn't happen.
And with just 3 minutes left to go and Beaumont United losing, this band is still fired up, and that's amazing to see, and they're doing absolutely amazing.
Yep, we have some ambient crowd noise, so hopefully y'all are able to hear that band pumping out like we do, because we can hear it up in our booth, even, up here. They loud, they sound amazing. But we have Westbrook kicking off yet again trying
It's a
to
big
run
kick.
up the score on Beaumont United, and we would just see a kneel down in the end zone for yet another touchback. Parents, guardians, community members, everyone, join Dr. Threets on the third Thursdays of every month from 2 p.m. 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. for Principal Pop-In. You have the opportunity to learn about what's going on at C-Tech, ask questions, and find out how you can get involved. You know, this was rated the UIL Game of the Week. And so far, to me, it's looked really good so far. But it is a blowout. It is a blowout for sure.
Yeah, definitely, Christian. But even though it's a blowout, it has been a very great game here tonight. We've seen a lot of competition by both sides of the ball, both teams. They're doing a great job here.
Yep, and I think that as time has started to run down, I think this score is a little bit inflated because Beaumont United is trying to force the ball down the field rather than just play like how they usually do. So, some of these interceptions that have happened have been not necessarily from Beaumont United making mistakes, but them just trying to get the ball into the end zone at all costs. So some score updates from around the area. The Jasper Bulldogs are up 20-16 against the Shepherd Pirates. We will check in on the Nederland game, or Nederland versus Port Neches game. We have 2 minutes and counting here for the Westbrook Bruins. To get this trophy, we'll have a trophy ceremony. The Nederland Bulldogs win 24-21 against the Port Neches Grove Indians. Final score, again, is 24-21. If you are Port Neches, you have to be so angry to see that loss.
And yet again, the Bruins wrap up the Timberwolves on a run and play. And it's not looking any better for the Timberwolves.
So, Port Neches Groves, they won the 5A state championship last year. Nederland Bulldogs were 6-1, I think, coming into this game. So they were very close on their records. And now Nederland will improve to 7-1, and Port Neches Groves will fall to 7-1. That is an incredible game right there. I'm not sure, but I think that was rated the best rivalry for high school football in the entire country. So we have it's rivalry week here in Southeast Texas. You have the Westbrook Bruins versus the Beaumont United Timberwolves, and you have some other rivalries across the area too.
And here, if Beaumont United comes up with the loss here, they're going to move down to 0-4 in their district and go to 2-6 in their overall score. For Westbrook, they're going to move up to 2-2 in the district and 4-4 overall. That's, still not a winning record for either teams, but it's definitely an improvement from our previous seasons. And we just seen there a big run by Beaumont United. Keeping that ball moving, getting those first downs are definitely going to help the stats out now.
Yep, on the carry there, the big carry, should I say, was Paul Winfrey. Senior, he's labeled as a defensive end, but thinking he's a little bit faster than that. He might be having to move over to that offensive side of the ball now.
And Beaumont United just going to let the clock run here. This may be the last play of the 2024 Beaumont Bowl.
Race is going to look deep, and it's caught, but he gets pushed out of bounds. That would be number 7, Joshua Johnson, on the catch there. We saw him get a couple of carries in the red zone there right before that interception. And I think that they should have continued to give him the ball too.
Yeah, and I believe that's going to be it here. Final score here in Beaumont at Family Dogger Stadium, United 7, Westbrook 48.
Westbrook completely silencing all the naysayers. Beaumont United had a little bit of a hype train built up around them because they got their first win last year. So Westbrook, they had to say, hey, this trophy is ours. They move on to 5-1 overall in the rivalry in the series. And we see the players shake hands on the field. Coaches shake hands. At the end of the game, no matter what happens during the game, all the talk that happens, everything that goes on during the game. Players, they still got love for each other. They all know each other. Like we keep saying, they've played with each other. They've known each other. So it's all love after the game, but during the game, that's where the that's where the real talk happens.
Yeah, at the end of the game, it's all just good sportsmanship. It's gonna be love for your friends, your family, because that's what we are here. Everyone's just a big family here. Besides the rivalry, besides the hate that you may have for each other, it's all love.
Absolutely. And so keep with us because I'm pretty sure we will be doing the trophy ceremony here shortly. Last year, Beaumont United was the ones on the field getting all hype. And this year, it will be the Westbrook Bruins as we see a couple of the Westbrook players running around all excited. The one and only Carlos Graham running around on the field there.
That's just full of excitement, man. You just won the Bowman Bowl, possibly the biggest rivalry they may face in their career here. This is a big rivalry, and we now see the trophy on the 40 Gator coming across the field.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very good sight to see if you are Westbrook. All those seniors getting their last win in the Beaumont Bowl, and on this, blah 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 blah. Feel free to drop a comment, and we will be wrapping up here soon as we see the cheerleaders take the field here. We have it was a great game. All the festivities that happened pregame, everything going on throughout the night. A couple of really big plays. We've got to say our famous catchphrase.
To the crib.
To the crib. Everybody remember that. That's going to be our famous catchphrase from now on. So if y'all see us in public, just shout that out to us. We'll sign your autograph for you.
Shout out to our 50-yard camera operator, Cameron Lawson. He did an excellent job out there today. And, not just to Cameron Lawson, to all of our crew, our producer, Joshua Chambers, and our live stream operator, Olivia Ross. But here for Family Dogget Stadium, I'm Jacob Guidry. Here with me is
Christian Cox. And again, this is the Beaumont Bowl at Doggett Family Stadium. We have an excellent game, or we had an excellent game here. We're very happy to provide you with this viewing opportunity. And we will join you next time.